Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. Certainly. It looks like you might be referring to AWS Lambda's JavaScript runtime, which is often used in serverless applications to run JavaScript or TypeScript code in response to events. AWS Lambda allows you to execute code without provisioning or managing servers. Overview of AWS Lambda. AWS Lambda is a serverless compute service that lets you run code in response to triggers such as HTTP requests, file uploads, database updates, or scheduled events. The code you write for AWS Lambda is called a Lambda function. Benefits of using AWS Lambda. No server management *, you don't have to worry about provisioning or managing servers. Scalability *, AWS automatically scales your application by running code in response to events. Pay only for what you use *, you are charged based on the number of requests and the duration your code runs. Setting up AWS Lambda with JavaScript. Prerequisites. 1. AWS account. Ensure you have an AWS account. 2. AWS CLI. Install and configure the AWS command line interface. 3. Node.js. Ensure you have Node.js installed on your local machine. Creating a simple Lambda function. 1. Create a new Lambda function *. You can create a Lambda function from the AWS Management Console or using the AWS CLI. Using the AWS console. Go to the AWS Lambda console. Click on Create Function. Choose Author from Scratch. Enter a function name, example Hello World function. Choose the runtime as Node.js 14.x, or a more recent version. Set permissions, you can use the default execution role. 2. Write your Lambda function *. You can write your Lambda function directly in the AWS console or upload a zip file containing your code. Here is a sample code snippet for a simple Lambda function that returns a greeting message. JavaScript. Exports.handler equals async, event, equals. Const name equals event.query string parameters and event.query string parameters.name world. Const message equals hello, $name. Const response equals. Status code, 200. Body, JSON.stringify, message. Return response. 3. Deploy and test your Lambda function *. Click on Deploy to save your changes. You can test your function using the test feature in the console. Create a test event with the following JSON to simulate a request. JSON. Query string parameters. Name, user. 4. Set up an API gateway, optional. If you want to trigger your Lambda function via HTTP requests, you can set up an API gateway. Go to the API gateway console. Create a new API and link it to your Lambda function. Deploy the API to get an endpoint URL. 5. Invoke your Lambda function *. You can invoke your function using curl or Postman as follows. Bash. Curl https your API ID execute API reg ion Amazon AWS.com your stage name equals user. You should receive a response. JSON. Message, hello, user. Conclusion. You've just created a simple AWS Lambda function using JavaScript. This function responds to HTTP requests and returns a greeting message based on the input. AWS Lambda is highly scalable and can be integrated with various AWS services, allowing you to build powerful serverless applications. Feel free to explore further by adding more functionality, integrating with databases, like DynamoDB, or even using other AWS services. If you have any specific questions or need more examples, let me know.